on YouTube at all without just too much hassle. The American Summer Flood continues. Flash flood emergency in northwestern Georgia is at least 1 in a 200-year event. More are coming. More than 5 in 1,000 flood events in August 2022. You can see the precipitation. Portions of Chattanooga, Floyd counties have received 10 to 13 inches with more rain coming. Let's take a look. Yeah, I'm about to shut it down.
Georgia, September 4th, 2022.
Bye-bye, tomato plants.
I'd be like, bye-bye cars, not tomato plants.
After a lot of rain, Georgia has catastrophic flooding that submerges cars. There was a lot of flooding in the Somerville area.
Maybe we'll see the trampoline again one day.
Wow. In another rural area, getting fucking slammed with monsoon-ass rains, dude, and people don't even, they don't even put two and two together. Get a boat time? Yeah, it is get a boat time. They're like, bye-bye tomato plant as their car's floating away. I'd be worried about the car, not the tomato plant. That's just me. But you have to think, this is where farmers live. These places they're attacking, Pakistan, Georgia, Kentucky, Nebraska, all these different places that are getting these crazy, insane, weather, especially flooding and shit like that, tornadoes, right, that are devastating these areas, are the areas where all the world's food is being produced. If it isn't enough that there's mysterious fires at every food processing and supplier, and like the last 3 years has been insane, like tens of thousands of them, and then all of a sudden, everywhere where you can grow a damn ear of corn is getting destroyed by geoengineering. Like I said, scorched earth. I know, man. I'm sorry about that, guys. I really am. I'm sorry they keep, it's not me because, look, if it was my stuff, then I would get cut off on every platform. I'm only getting cut off on YouTube. So I just want to put that out there. I've seen somebody say my internet was bad, I'm getting attacked. No, legit, I'm streaming on 3 YouTube channels. All 3 YouTube channels get cut, but every other platform I'm on hasn't been cut once. YouTube's cut me off twice now. So it is what it is, right? They did. The sun blasted off some weird energy. Well, we've talked about that, the solar maximum and minimum. And, just even some of the recent sunspots, how the polarity was reversed on the sunspots. It's weird shit. That these negative, there is, during minimum and maximum, and these coronal mass ejections, these different bursts of plasma contain different pockets of energy. Some are dark energy, some are, not. And the darker energy is more conducive to, energies that are considered parasitic, right? So it's, more toxic to your aura, so to speak. More spiritual attacks can take place during, bursts of dark energy and things of that nature. Most people don't break it down on that level, but we've been looking at that recently on this channel, trying to understand, like, okay, well, we got this CME coming. What is the nature of the coronal mass ejection, for one? Is this dark energy that's coming at us? What were the polarities of the energy? What's the level of radiation? That has a whole lot to do with it too. How are we going to receive this cosmic information, and how is it going to be used or manipulated against us in the spiritual realm? Is it conducive to those parasitic vibrations? Is this going to be useful to use against our auras, right? Like, we need to try to do our best to understand these things, that way we can get ahead of the curve. Trying to hive mind the negative. Absolutely, they're trying to hive mind the negative. Newsweek is where you got that. What? Nice. Nice. And then look, these deadly earthquakes too. This is in Afghanistan. The last one was in China. At least 8 dead and dozens injured. The quake of a magnitude 5.3, the eastern city of Jalalabad in the early hours. See the images there? Doesn't look too nice. And this is the China one, I think. I don't know what he was saying, but I'm pretty sure he shit his pants during that. For real, that was pretty crazy. That car was rocking hard. Yeah, but I mean, and then of course by the time the USGS picks it up, they'll take these earthquakes and they'll knock them down a peg. It'll go from 5.7 to 5.1, whatever, to try to make them not look as serious as what they are. The largest permanent lagoon in Andalusia's Doñana Natural Park in Santa Eulalia Lagoon has completely dried out. The Santa Eulalia Lagoon, the largest permanent lagoon in Andalusia's Doñana Natural Park, the last to contain water in August, has also dried up. What remains is a small puddle in the middle where no waterfowl flock anymore. You know, and this is the intense period of drought. The CSIC explains that the drought in Europe, which is particularly intense on the Iberian Peninsula, is wreaking havoc on the nature reserve, but warns that the most terrifying thing is that it's been going on for a long time. And see, you have other places, Georgia, 10 to 13 inches of rain, right? Knocking out fucking where there's farming land and shit. And then in these other places, it's pure drought and it's catching on fire. You see, like, this is what geoengineering, this is what fucking with nature does. You know, people say, well, that's Planet X, right? Well, maybe. You know, but there does appear to be some of this being, you know, kind of some steering going on to a lot of this shit. All the migration in Britain and no gas to keep them warm and happy. Well, you know, that's what it is. I mean, these fuel shortages, they were created intentionally to, this is Scorched Earth Project. That's what this is. You know, fuel shortage, you make the drinking water, you know, you hit the food supply chain, all of these things. This is what they do. Everyone around the world will be panicking in the streets. You can't make this up. Gaslighting happening every day. It's causing real psychic damage. You damn straight. The first step to reducing your emissions is to know where you stand. What? You got me fucked up. Find out your carbon footprint with our new calculator and share your pledge today. The first step, did you get it? The first step to reducing your emissions is to know where you stand. They're telling you, sustainable development, going after the carbon footprint is where you stand. Is to kill your ass. You got to be kidding me, dude. Yeah, that's fucking insane. The first step to reducing your emissions is to know where you stand. And I bet whoever posted that from BP is laughing their fucking ass off. Because there's probably 10 million libtards underneath that. They're like, you know, talking about how fucking this needs to happen to save the world and shit. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And see, and this is the bullshit too. You know, most people, I hate to say it, most of the people in the spiritual communities have lost their shit too. You know, like for real, guys. Like it's bad. It's not just people that voted for Trump or liberal or whatever. Even the people that call themselves woke and awake and aware and all of that, they're gone too. You know, they've just they're falling for different algorithms. That's the only difference. Different algorithms busted their ass. You know, ones that have diluted their whole reality and spirituality. Like, it's fucked up. I pledge not to spill 4.9 barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. What? That is so fucked up. That's actually the part of all this that pisses me off. The small people get harped on and lectured as if we're all driving Hummers and draining and refilling massive swimming pools once a week or some other horrible nonsense where most of us are just trying to survive. Meanwhile, these assholes in a couple of massive nations I won't name are pouring pollution out by the gigaton. And they have the balls to pontificate to us. Yeah. Well, we all know, you know, just like the 160,000 gallons off the coast of California, this shit's just, they do it to create the sense of shortage and the climate and all of this. As systemic control is what it is. And people are dumb enough to fucking believe it. It's a problem. Free thinking AI telling you what to think. Yes, exactly. Yes, the U channel, you get it. Free thinking AI telling you what to think. Exactly. You gotta love it, right? You gotta love it. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. But I mean, whatever, right? Blackouts possible at the height of California's heat wave Tuesday as it struggles with record usage.
To survive in an era of such extremes, and that's the
fuck all that. U.S. flood maps outdated thanks to climate change. FEMA director says he's like, yo, the flood maps, they don't work anymore because shit's crazier than we ever told you it was going to be. That's great. Makes the mission extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation hits Georgia. Say what? Flood maps used by FEMA are outdated, the director said on Sunday. Considering a series of devastating floods caused by excessive rainfall induced by climate change. It should say induced by fucking HAARP, geoengineering, DARPA, the Department of Defense, the United States government. They questioned about the situation in Jackson, Mississippi, where city water facilities failed in the aftermath of heavy flooding at the Pearl River, leaving residents without drinkable or usable water. Told you, Scorched Earth Project. Look it up. Go watch my private video from like 2 weeks ago. I did Scorched Earth. I'm telling you. This is how they roll. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull it up. Just show you. Like, this is what's happening. There you go. Scorched Earth. A military strategy that aims to destroy anything that might be useful to the enemy. Any assets that can be used by the enemy may be targeted, which usually include obvious weapons, transport vehicles, communication sites, and industrial resources. However, anything useful to the advancing enemy may be targeted, including food stores, agricultural areas, water sources, even the local people themselves. Though the last has been banned under the 1977 Geneva Convention, which we know that they would never violate shit like that. It's not like, you know, right? They've banned things that in the past, and they continue to still do this shit. The practice can be carried out by the military in enemy territory or in its own home territory while it's being invaded. It may overlap with, but is not the same as, punitive destruction of the enemy's resources, which is usually done as part of political strategies rather than operational strategy. So there you have it. Right? This is your Scorched Earth. happening right in your fucking face. You know? It's absolutely crazy. And they're hitting you on every fucking level, by the way. They don't spare you on not one. And they got you stressing on whether a CME, Venus or some shit. Who gives a fuck? Do we even know if Venus exists, motherfuckers? You know what I mean? Every picture you showed us is CGI. The Milky Way, Earth crust grew faster when our planet passed through the Milky Way spiral arms. You know, this is just essentially due to the orbital dynamics in different parts of the system with its magnetic push and pull, I think. So, you guys want to look that up, it's on you. Or, glacier larger than Florida is rapidly losing ice. What happens if it collapses? Well, my guesstimate is they told us that, sea levels could raise 10 inches from, just one or two of these glaciers collapsing, and we know that in the Lost Book of Enki, that when the Doomsday Glacier bit the dust, it sent tsunamis worldwide. New study found Antarctica's Doomsday Glacier is losing contact with the sea floor, with potential to rapidly retreat in the coming years. And this may affect global sea levels. Yeah, fucking news bears, dude. If the world's not ready for the next super eruption, scientists warn. And if you see how they're doing all of the earthquakes and shit like that, you can see where they're building up the power to actually make, a volcano erupt. If, Tonga and all of that shit, who knows what actually created such a symmetrical, eruption like what we've seen. What you eating? I'm eating crackers. That's what I'm eating. Can you guys hear it? Well, I mean, we're like only 5 hours in, so I figured what the fuck, right? Even if humanity manages not to self-destruct, the war on climate change, there are still other existential threats we must be ready for. Tasty? Yeah, they're really good, guys. Sorry. I'm gonna wrap it up anyway, so I do apologize. I don't give a shit. I mean, it's only like they cut my video off 10 times, so who gives a fuck? Excuse me. Civilian-military relations under extreme strain. Yeah. War, C-19, economy, and political climate led to exceptionally challenging situation. Oh, God. So let's see what this situation is. Let's just see what they got to say about the civilians from the Pentagon here. I wonder how much they love us.
Get away with a great deal at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. With new
Tasty,
cars
yeah,
daily,
crackers
now's
are
the
good,
time
guys.
to get in and get away.
So funny.
Now, get 2.99% APR financing or $500 bonus cash on the...
Okay, that is not about this. Well, that sucked. That's so weird. Like, they don't even have the fucking article. Okay, 8 former U.S. Secretaries of Defense and 5 former Chairmen of the Joint Chiefs of Staff are warning that civilian-military relations are at a low, pointing to recent events at home and abroad that has shaken the military foundations. We are in an exceptionally challenging civil military environment. Notice the word phrasing. Civil military environment. Civil military. Notice that. They're trying to get you adjusted to it. So it'll be okay to pop a cap in your civilian ass. Many of the factors that shape civil military relations have undergone extreme strain. For starters, they pointed to the winding down of American wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. They've come to terms with war efforts that were not entirely successful while preparing for more daunting competition with near-peer rivals. Remember, the Arab Spring, I don't even know if I can say the name of it, but the medicine that attacked religious extremism, it looked something like Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome. Was it a practice at Arab Spring for, what we're seeing now? culminated in the first election in over a century when the peaceful transfer was disruptive. Or like the Transition Integration Project of 2020 where they practiced like the other false flag events for the election shit that happened, you know, in our country. Or January 6th when we shown that that was also a flag event. And they were using exploding fucking blood packets and shit. And actors, and that the badges on the police weren't even real. It's fucking crazy. Kamala Harris is now President of the United States. Welcome to hell world. No shit, dude. I mean, we're done shit. Yeah, we're done. I don't even think Joe Biden's an actual human being. I think he could be an android. Possibly just a hologram. You know? I don't know. Like, for real. Like, I think that guy, the ultimate Manchurian candidate. I mean, seriously. You know, I've never seen a guy push the agenda harder than that motherfucker. Straight up. The former officials explained civilian control of military shared by all three branches. The executive, of course, controls it through the president, who serves as commander-in-chief, with a chain of command, Secretary of Defense, then the... Well, I'm going to end this one, man. It's just...